Welcome to this explainer. Look, we all know the daily struggle of just trying to put our phones down, right? But what if the fix isn't just about limiting screen time, but actually completely rethinking our digital ethics? Today, we're diving into a really fascinating framework that's designed to totally transform how young people interact with the digital world. Instead of just lecturing kids to unplug, this research from the Center for Islamic Studies and Civilizations and the University of North Texas suggests a much more powerful dual approach, giving youth the agency to lead and grounding that power in deep, value-based ethics. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with a massive paradox, a question most of us have probably asked ourselves at some point. If we know our screens are harming us, why on earth can't we put them down? We know the algorithms are manipulating us, we know doom scrolling makes us anxious, and yet we stay hooked. Researchers actually call this the limit of awareness, because just knowing a system is designed to trap you doesn't magically help you escape it, especially when that system is literally a slot machine living right in your pocket.
And the stakes here? They're incredibly high. When researchers asked high schoolers to describe their online lives, they didn't hold back or use mild terms. They used these deeply visceral, shocking metaphors. Venom, two-faced terror, a gun. These teens view cyberbullying and online hostility as just an everyday, unavoidable risk. They see the danger clear as day, but they feel totally trapped in that environment.
Which brings us to Section 1, the digital awareness paradox. To really grasp this, just look at the sheer scale of this attention trap. Digital exposure is now starting in early infancy. Basically, 3 in 4 infants are already exceeding safe screen time limits. I mean, they barely know how to walk, let alone scroll, right? By adolescence, 1 in 3 kids are continuously online, and problematic social media use has jumped from 7 to 11%. Overall screen time is more than doubled. It's a high-velocity trap capturing kids younger and way more intensely than ever before.
Now notice the massive mismatch between the problem and our attempted solutions. Think of our current regulatory systems kind of like a snail, slow, fragmented, and playing entirely on the defensive. Then look at the technology. It's a rocket. It's lightning fast, driven by complex algorithms, and specifically engineered to hook and hold human behavior. Our regulations simply cannot keep up with the sheer speed of technological change.
So, moving into Section 2, why current solutions fail.
If we know the risks, why aren't our current educational solutions working? Well, most digital ed just tells kids to be safe. But when you actually talk to students, they tell a totally different story. They're dealing with a massive web of pressures. It's not just those addictive algorithms. It's the intense peer norms and networked toxicity. It's the expectation from everyone, including adults, to be connected 24/7. And ironically, all these cautionary, risk-focused lectures, they actually just leave kids feeling more insecure instead of empowered. The core issue here is an eye-opener. It's not a lack of awareness at all. Young people already know the tech is harming them. Telling them it's bad doesn't do anything. What's missing is a framework that actually enables intentional and sustained action. Right now, we're giving them fear-based lectures that treat them as passive victims, rather than giving them structured ways to actually change their habits.
And that leads perfectly into Section 3, activating youth agency.
So how do we flip this script? We have to shift from the old approach, treating youth as passive subjects who constantly need protecting from digital risks, to an entirely new paradigm. We need to start treating them as active agents and digital leaders who are more than capable of shaping their own technology use and culture. It's about shifting them from being victims to empowered architects of their digital environments. And the data totally backs this up. When researchers surveyed students on what they actually need to become effective digital changemakers, basic awareness ranked dead last at just 25%. What they deeply crave is confidence and a voice. That topped the chart at 70%. They also want practical skills and supportive environments. Basically, kids want the tools to make a real impact, not just another warning. To turn that desire into reality, this research proposes the Scroll to Action framework, which follows a very concrete 3-step pathway. Step 1, engage. Mobilize students based on their direct, real-world digital experiences. Step 2 is educate. Systematically build their capacity in critical awareness. And step 3 is execute, implementing collaborative, student-led projects. It beautifully translates passive awareness into sustained real-world action. Which brings us to Section 4, the ethical anchor. Now, an operational framework is great, but it needs an internal compass to sustain it over the long haul. Take a look at this demographic breakdown. Nearly 76% of the global population identifies with a religious group. That is a massive, globally scalable tool. Because government tech regulations are painstakingly slow, these deeply held, global faith-based values offer a ready-made source of internal motivation. You see, regulatory frameworks are always playing catch-up with the latest app. But researchers argue we already have something much faster: value-based systems. We're talking about internalized moral principles, historical traditions, and social structures. Think of them as an internal moral compass. They provide enduring ethical guidance for your behavior, instantly, no matter how fast the digital context changes around you.
What's truly fascinating here is how wildly different cultural and religious traditions independently arrive at the exact same digital guardrails. For example, regarding privacy and data exploitation, Christianity leans on the concept of imago Dei, inherent human worth, to protect human dignity. Hinduism addresses digital boundaries through aparigraha, or non-possessiveness. Buddhism pushes back against the attention economy with mindfulness, and Islamic ethics strictly protects social stability from online fraud. The traditions differ, but the shared ethical principles are incredibly consistent.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, the blueprint for change. Let's bring it all together. When we combine the operational structure of scroll to action with the internal motivation of these ethical systems, everything changes. We stop reacting defensively and start shifting toward intentional, purpose-driven participation. By empowering students through true co-creation and student-adult partnerships, and connecting their digital skills directly with moral responsibility across diverse communities, we finally give them both the tools and the compass they need to thrive. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to reflect on today. Will we keep treating technology as something that just happens to us? Or are we ready to start shaping what it does for us? I highly encourage you to check out the original research to dive deeper into how we can truly empower the next generation of digital citizens. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.